It's beginning to look. It's beginning to look a lot. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Everywhere you go, take a look at the 5 and 10, glistening once again, with candy canes and silver lanes of glow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. Dolls that will talk and will go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Everywhere you go, one in the park as well, the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that will make them ring is the carol that you sing right within your heart. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Barney and Ben. Dolls that will talk and will go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Everywhere you go, one in the park as well, the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that will make them ring is the carol that you sing right within your heart. Right within your heart. In your heart.
Previously on Nicholas Stacy's Super Awesome Christmas Time Extravaganza featuring myself, Dr. Phil. It was absolute pandemonium. I couldn't believe my eyes.
Nick went on the Dr. Phil show and wasn't doing so good. Elf, Aunt Carol, and I were all watching.
Man, that Dr. Phil character don't let up. Thank God Heinrich was there to save him.
I was in the audience. I really did make it snow. Well, either way, Heinrich wanted everyone to the North Pole from what I've heard. Let's see how that goes, shall we?
Would come carry me away, and I'll keep waiting through next May until Christmas comes my way.
Once Heinrich and Nick merrily take off in the sleigh, Jack Frost must meet his own agenda, making his way toward the city of Boston. After somehow hijacking one of Dr. Phil's agency helicopters, he makes his way across the country to deliver Christmas spirit to Nick's hometown. His first stop being Aunt Carol's house. The sounds coming from the helicopter erupted throughout the entirety of Nick's neighborhood, sending everyone and their mother outside to inspect the racket. Not knowing where else to park, he took the liberty of occupying the entire road.
Bobby, this is the news. I'll finally have my big moment. Krista from the hair salon is going to be so jealous when she hears about this.
Wait, that's not the news. I know for a fact that it's Dr. Phil's helicopter.
Dr. Phil has a helicopter?
Well, it's mine now. Sorry, I took up all the parking outside. You guys should really get a bigger neighborhood.
So, you're telling me that you didn't bring Dr. Phil?
Are you serious right now, Elf?
Why are we even out here then? God.
This is obviously about Nick.
You're damn right, brown-haired girl. Your boyfriend, Nady, is saving Christmas right now. But we gotta help him out.
He's not my boyfriend. I mean, we're great friends and I would do anything for him, but he is not my boyfriend. Anyway, how are you supposed to help him?
I'll tell ya, I always knew Nicky had a good heart. Ever since Nick was a little boy, I knew he had something special in him. When my sister Mariah gave him to me while he was still in diapers, I knew he was going to be something more than just an auntie's boy. I might have thought he was a little crazy, sure, but deep down inside, I always knew he was telling the truth. I raised him to be honest, to be a dignified young gentleman. So I'll say it to the world, and I'll say it to the news and anyone listening. I'm that little nutjob's aunt, and I'm proud to have him as my nephew.
You, no, we're not recording any of this, right?
Back on the sleigh, before Nick and Heinrich depart for the North Pole, Nick asks if they can make a pit stop.
That was crazy. I didn't know you could make it snow. Inside. Anyways, I know you want to take me to the North Pole to teach me all the cool Christmas stuff. But could we maybe pick up my friends first?
Ah, Crinkle. We have to turn around then. You couldn't have told me that before I told all 9 reindeer that we were heading to the North Pole? Come on, boys. Let's do a 180.
My bad, guys.
Back at Aunt Carol's house, Holly has an epiphany.
Everyone, I just thought of how we can help Nick. We can all fly to the North Pole and help him and Heinrich get ready for Christmas. Jack, can you take us there in your helicopter?
So, are you saying this because you think he needs help? Or because of, that convo we had earlier? The one when you told me that you're, oh, so madly in love with him. You don't even know what to do. He's just so...
Shut it! I can have complex motivations. Anyway, Jack, what do you say to flying us there? Before we leave, I have one more thing to do.
Before Jack could say anything, Holly turned and ran into Aunt Carol's house. Just then, the wind picked up and began fiercely blowing, while the sound of sleigh bells filled the air. Aunt Carol was silent for once, and looked up in astonishment. Elf looked up into the sky, his eyes also wide with amazement. Jack Frost, who knew what was happening, disappointedly sat down on the porch steps. He really wanted another chance to fly the helicopter. For Nick, however, the ground below was magical. There were people filling the streets to watch what was happening. There was a mix of joy and confusion after the events on the show. Despite the craziness, Nick was excited to see Elf, and extra excited to see Holly.
All right, my boy. Is this the right neighborhood?
Nick!
Yep.
Nick!
This is the one.
You saved Christmas, Nicky!
I guess so.
Heinrich landed the sleigh in Aunt Carol's front lawn. When they stepped out, Nick was bombarded with questions from Elf.
Nick! I can't believe you were sitting right next to the American phenomenon that is Dr. Phil. I bet he's so cool in person. Is he cool, Nicky? I bet he smells nice. Dr. Phil. Just thinking about him brings me joy.
Okay. Hey, buddy. Dr. Phil is pretty cool, I guess. He made me really, really nervous, though. And he kind of smelled like menthol and printer paper.
Oh, Nick, you're home already? All the way from LA that fast?
He had some help from my little friends here. Oh, Vixen, aren't you just the cutest?
Okay. Anyways, I'm sorry that I doubted you, Nikki. You forgive me, don't you?
Of course, Aunt Gal. I understand it was hard to believe. Even I couldn't believe it at first.
Oh, thank you, Nick. I'm proud of you. Even if you did kind of embarrass me on national television.
Hey, I was nervous. You know I'm not the best with crowds.
The door to Aunt Carol's house opened. Holly stepped out and Nick blushed. She was wearing a green dress and a Santa hat that looked homemade.
Oh, hey, Holly. How's
Nick,
it,
hi.
how's it going?
Oh, Nick, you don't have to act humble. You are incredible. I can't believe you convinced all these people about the true meaning of the season. I actually made you something.
Holly pulls out a Santa hat from behind her back that looks exactly like the one she's wearing.
Wow, Holly. You made this for me?
Nick and Holly share a sweet moment together before Heinrich interrupts.
All right, children. No more time for dilly-dally. We must get to the North Pole at once. Everybody in!
Heinrich sat at the front of the sleigh while the rest of the gang piled in. Nick and Holly sat side by side right behind him, and Elf sat in the back. The journey was long and cold, but eventually they made it.
So, this is the North Pole?
Whoa, bruh, this is so cool. There's snow everywhere, and it feels so magical.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Heinrich waves his hands in the air, and suddenly, candy cane lights appear down the pathway, leading to the factory where his elves are hard at work. Elves walk out of the barn where Heinrich stores the reindeer, and rested neatly in the center of the vast whiteness is a cozy little cabin.
Cool! Come on, Holly. I want to try and ride that polar bear.
Oh no.
With Elf and Holly occupied, Heinrich could finally speak to Nick in private.
Whoa. The elves have been working this whole time?
No, they're actually created by my Christmas magic. The elves aren't actually people. They're simply products of my magic. They, like the reindeer, only exist when I will them to. Now, my boy, I have something special to ask you. The reason I brought you here is a lot to take in. And, of course, you don't have to decide right away, but you know how long ago I was, well, Santa Claus?
Yeah. I think it's super cool that you did that for all the kids around the world. Spreading Christmas magic and stuff.
Well, I'm glad you think so, because, frankly, boy, I'm getting old. I don't have enough time to put Christmas back together myself. Your love for Christmas has shown me that you are more than ready. It's time for me to retire and to pass my job on someone who will spread Christmas cheer. I would like to ask if maybe you would take this responsibility.
Nick was overwhelmed with emotions. He thought that once he'd saved Christmas, his job was done. He knew now that this mission he had set out on would require more effort to complete. Thankfully, he was willing to put the work in.
Well, Yeah, Heinrich. You have become a dear friend of mine through all this experience, and I couldn't imagine letting you down. But, what exactly do you want me to do?
Nick looks up at Heinrich with wide, admiring eyes as he takes off his cap and puts it on Nick's head. Suddenly, he feels a surge of warmth as Heinrich begins to sparkle, transferring his Christmas magic to Nick.
I simply pass my Christmas spirit to you, and I will live on through the Christmas magic in you, my boy. However, this won't be easy without help. Is there anyone you have in mind to sort of, be your partner through this? I had my wife with me and it was much easier.
Nick looked over to where Holly was standing with Elf. She was rolling her eyes at the dumb things he was doing. Just then, she looked back at Nick and smiled.
Yeah, I think I do have someone in
Nick,
mind.
I'm so proud of you, my boy. My Christmas magic is with you, and you will be Santa Claus for decades to come.
As Nick turns back, Heinrich begins to fade, and around his silhouette, snowflakes begin to appear.
You have the spirit of Christmas within you. Trust your instincts. Never be afraid to ask for help. And remember, I will always be with you.
Heinrich's figure slowly dissipated in front of Nick. He couldn't believe what was happening, and reached out to touch the man he owed his new life to. His feet became flurries of snow, and fractals of snowflakes consumed the space around him. And as Nick held his hand out to Heinrich, The air around him was warm, despite the North Pole's freezing temperature. Before fading completely, Heinrich uttered his last farewell.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
You're still not doubting me, right? After all this, do you think it's still too good to be true?
Well, we can make it too good to be true. Together.
Holly, you have always been there to support me on every journey in my life. This will be the biggest challenge I have ever faced, and I want you to be by my side, now and forever.
Nick, of course I'll help you. We can take this on together. I'm willing to put in the work with you to bring Christmas back, but do you really think that we can do this?
Of course we can. With the help from you, Carol, Elf, and Jack, we can bring back Christmas.
The moment between them was blissful, but only for a moment, as Elf's distant shouts prompted the new couple's attention.
Guys, how do I stop this thing? Put me down, polar bear! Ah!
With a thump, Elf hurtled into the snow, landing head first. He quickly got up, shaking the snow that found refuge on his head, and laughing triumphantly.
Ha! That polar bear must know English. He put me down right away. Oh my gosh! What are these things near you, and why are they so tiny? Look over here, Nick. There are like these miniature people with pointy ears. Do you know what these are?
Well, Heinrich said they helped him. In his workshop?
So, I guess you're a big shot now.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's gonna be kinda weird for me to go back home all alone with no job, no friends, and absolutely zero prospects or connections.
Elf, you're not going home.
What do you mean? Am I trapped up here? Nikki, if I'm trapped up here.
No, man. I will need your help.
Okay, so what's my position? Santa number 2?
Elf, you're the new CEO of Christmas Magic and Operation.
What does that mean?
Christmas almost died last time because there was no one making sure there was enough magic to go around. Now, that's your job. You also get to make sure all the toys get made. And just like before, you're still my right-hand man.
Oh, I can be in charge! And they will be called elves! Oh, I know. Let me be a Krampus. I'll be so scary. I will make sure that those little rascals stay on task and behave. They will be shaking in their boots if they do something bad because they will know that I will come after them.
Elf motioned all of the little tiny pointed-eared people toward him, and for some reason, they were drawn to him. Elf crouched down to take a good look at each one of them, naming them all.
That is so cool! We shall call them elves, and I shall be their leader, and they will call me the elf of all elves. And we will worship Dr. Phil for all eternity. Okay, your name is definitely Russell. I mean, you've got the long wavy hair and everything, and you're Vin Diesel. Well, because you're bald, so...
Okay, Elf, don't be too hard on them. Remember, they are sweet after all.
For weeks, the Jolly Trio were tirelessly preparing for Christmas. Over time, news traveled, and soon enough, there wasn't anyone who didn't know about Christmas.
Going on Dr. Phil only did so much, Carol. I'm gonna need you to make use of all your girlfriends. Get them spreading the word. Start networking and posting on social media. Get people to tell their friends. You get the gist.
Oh, I'll get the news out faster than Cheryl threw her Uncle Marty's dentures when they fell into her lap at the roller derby social dinner last year. It was hilarious, but I'll tell you all about it another time. Right now, I've got work to do.
You are now the official spokesperson for the North Pole.
Oh my goodness, it's like all my dreams are coming true.
Okay, so, Jack, my plan for you is to spread the Christmas spirit all around the world. Really get everyone in the mood. In my experience, nothing is better than snow at getting people feeling like it's Christmas. So, I have some plans for you. If I give you some of my magic, will you take it to the sleigh and give the world a nice coating of snow?
You know I love flying, kid.
The night is Christmas Eve. The time had finally come to restore what had been lost for so long. Elf, Aunt Carol, and Jack are all gathered to give Nick and Holly a send-off for the long-awaited moment.
We're so darn proud of you, sweetie. You really will make this world a better place, honey bunny. I know it. Oh, and those few extra pounds look great on you.
Oh, Nikki, don't listen to her. You know I'll still love you no matter how husky you are.
Husky is the new hot, bruh. You look slick, my guy.
Well, Nady boy, I sure am proud of you. You have truly inspired me. I will keep spreading your Christmas cheer all around the world.
Well, I'm glad you decided I was crazy enough to go on Dr. Phil.
I'm glad you weren't actually crazy.
I wouldn't be here without you guys. I love you all. Now, let's go save Christmas.
Nick and Holly set course through the world as the new Mr. and Mrs. Claus, with a beautiful trail of northern lights following them wherever they went. The entire world came together at first sight, and in the hearts of people around the world, Christmas was exactly how it was always meant to be. In the years following, Elf,
I was immediately accepted by my new trainees, and we made the best Christmas gifts ever.
Jack Frost,
I worked on the television and actually get rich because of the Hallmark deal I made with them on my story about a kid named Nick who changed the world and brought back the magic of Christmas. I still continue to work on the cover for Nick, looking for and reporting good deeds everywhere.
Dr. Phil,
Every year in November and December, I take a sabbatical because after Nicholas Stacy's appearance, I can no longer deal with 12 months of crazy before I begin to think that it's all true.
and Carol,
I became the Christmas expert by taking over Dr. Phil's show in November and December, and I call it Christmas Carol. And as I love the drama, I help Nick determine the naughty from the nice.
Holly, and Nick.
We became Mr. and Mrs. Claus.
I am content with life, and the Christmas cheer will never fear the end again.
Ho, ho, ho!
I wish a one-horse open sleigh would come carry me away, and I'll keep waiting through next May until Christmas comes my way.
Good evening. My name is Kimberly Hilliard. I am the choral director and theater director here at Bishop Moore Catholic High School. I want to thank you for joining us each and every evening to listen to the acts. The radio drama was something I thought would be a wonderful way for our students to have a performance for this semester since we were not able to give anything live. I cannot say enough how proud I am of each and every one of these students, especially since we were hybrid this semester and completely virtual for 1 month. They worked tirelessly and diligently to get this done. A special thanks to our administration, especially Tricia French and Jill Johnson, who helped create the videos for each of our broadcasts. And finally, I'll send you off with a performance of our women's choir and members of our men's choir. This is Perfect Christmas Night.
Shoo-be-doo-wop-bop-bop, shoo-doo-wop. Shoo-be-doo-wop-bop-bop, shoo-doo-wop. Shoo-be-doo-wop-bop-bop, shoo-doo-wop. Shoo-be-doo-wop-bop. I've got the Christmas tree, I've got the memories, I've got the box of decorations. I've got the tinsel strung, the mistletoe's been hung. I've got the means of celebration.
I've got the lights down low, the skies are dreaming snow.
I've got the dreams, all with the Christmas theme. But tonight I won't be sleeping. I've got Bing Crosby on, have all my troubles gone, with the spirit I've been keeping.
I've got the presents wrapped, I got the boxes stacked.
I put up those Christmas lights all around that tree,
like it all should be.
I've got the perfect Christmas night. Shooby-doo-wop, bop, bop, shoo-doo-wop. Shooby-doo-wop, bop, bop, shoo-doo-wop. Shooby-doo-wop, bop, bop, shoo-doo-wop. Shooby-doo-wop, bop. I've got the Christmas tree, I've got the memories, I've got the box of decorations, I've got the tinsel strung, the mistletoe's been hung, I got the means of celebration. I've got the lights down low, the skies are dreaming snow, I've got the Yule logs burning bright. Beside the Christmas tree, I've got you here with me, I've got the perfect Christmas night. And by that Christmas tree, I've got you here with me, I've got the perfect Christmas night. Shooby-doo-wop, bop, bop, shoo-doo-wop. Shooby-doo-wop, bop, bop, shoo-doo-wop. Shooby